It's time for Real Estate 101 with the Karey Brown team from Realty Executives Preferred Advisors.
Good Sunday morning to you. This is Karey Brown with Real Estate 101. I'm the broker owner of Realty Executives Preferred Advisors. And today I have with me Aaron Koker with Kansas Audio Video. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning.
So today we're going to talk about different things that Aaron does whenever he goes into new construction and existing homes. So you can learn a little bit more. Everybody wants to get their house into the new age, the new electrical things, the audio, video, all those man cave, women cave type places. So, and he is the guru of all of those things. So Aaron, tell me a little bit about you.
Oh, well, thanks for having me. Well, my name is Aaron Koker, and I've been in the industry for many years, 17 years, started the company. And recently, my company was Home Connections. They're on 21st and Urish. Recently, we merged with Kansas Audio Video last year, and it's been a great thing. We had both of our staffs come together, and we just have the goal was to be able just to serve Topeka in a better way. Together, united, and we've done that. So excited to be a part of the audio video industry here in Topeka. So been doing this for a while, and just really enjoy helping people and talking to people, going into people's homes and seeing what kind of things they want to do with their spaces and help them figure it out.
So your service area, do you just service Topeka or do you do the surrounding areas?
Yeah, we go all over. We have in the whole state of Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska. We really diversify ourselves to go wherever we need to go. But for the residential market, primarily, it's the state of Kansas and the Missouri.
Wow. So you are all over,
yeah,
practically.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. And just so you know, before I forget to tell you, their phone number is 785-232-5966. Their address is 1016 Southwest 6th Street here in Topeka. And their website is ksav.com. You can also find them on Facebook at Kansas Audio Video. So if you search that, you should be able to find them. And today we're going to talk about different things that you guys do for homeowners. So let's just start with new construction. Tell me, what do you guys do whenever you're meeting with someone that's building a home?
Well, first things first. When you're building a new home, there's a ton of decisions that you're having to make. So I think it's hard sometimes to, you're grasping at straws to think of all the things that you want to think about when you build a home to say, oh, I wish I would have thought about that. I can't tell you how many times I've heard from customers, man, I wish if I could go back in time, I would have done this or done that. And when you're in the middle of making so many decisions, sometimes things get missed. So what my goal is always is to, set out the floor plans with a customer and say, how are you going to live in your home? Just walk me through that. Where are you spending most of the time watching TV? What rooms would you like to listen to music in? So when I have a better idea of how you're living in your home, I think then at that point I have a better picture of how I can help you place things. And for that matter, we have many different ways that we can future-proof your home as well. And I'll give you ideas of what to think about, now and in the future. Even if you're not spending the money now on all the things that you want to put in your home, it's so nice down the road to be able to go, you know what, we wired here, or we wired here. I can now put a surround sound in this room. I wasn't planning on it when I first moved in, but now I can because I've wired for it. So that's my goal, is to really get the wiring piece of it, because that's the easy decision. The decision to wire your home is easy, but it's the putting the equipment in. That's where the main investment is.
And automation, you were talking about automation and how you can set things up to where whenever you walk through the door, you can make things happen. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, a better description, that would probably be the word control. And control can happen on many different levels. A control can be just replacing your remote control. And that's probably the most popular one with the wives, because instead of having the 5-6 remotes laying on your countertop trying to figure out how to turn the TV on, how to go to this input and that input and switch all those things, we can program a remote control so it has one single on, one single off, and it turns on all the devices that we have set up for you, and it turns them back off, and it's really easy to use. So that's itself is automation, because it's automating all those remotes into one. But imagine walking into your home and having a button on your entryway when you walk in the garage, from the garage, as you got home from work, and you hit a button and it turns on a path of lights for you to the kitchen and turns on some easy jazz for you, And that's the kind of automation that we like, where it automatically adjusts your temperature in your house. It can automatically disarm your alarm system, things like that. So there's some really neat all-in-one things that you can do just by walking into your home and automate that in that way. Or think of it as when you go to bed at night, you can hit a button and it knows to arm the house for security, knows to turn all the lights off if there's some lights that were left on. It can adjust the temperature for nighttime, so being able to have that all in one place is really a nice feature for a home. And I think it makes it easier to live in your own home.
So for somebody that doesn't know a whole lot about that, is that a typically really expensive thing to do?
Well, automation in general is really just a bunch of different services that you already have that it's controlling. So think of it as a security system. Then you have an audio system through your home for listening to music. And then you may have a TV system in your hearth room or your main living area. Those are all different systems. All we're doing is just controlling all those things together. So the answer to your question is, you can go as entry level or as big as you want in a home. You can start off with just controlling a TV and controlling a couple lights in the main living room, or you can go into controlling the whole home. But that's why we do free consultations. So we can sit down and we can have kind of a discovery event, and kind of go room by room and say, what makes sense? Does it make sense to put lighting control in a closet, here? Probably not, so, we can help you shape it and get it in budget where it needs to be.
Okay. Well, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And so not just new construction and theater rooms, like after the fact, I know a lot of people, they don't always have the money to finish their basement whenever they're building. Because, like any normal person,
right,
you can expect to upgrade certain things, or you kind of switch things around and all of a sudden you're a little over your budget. Sometimes you're a lot over your budget. And then you get to the basement. It's like, okay, well, we really don't have the money for that right now.
Right.
But they could go ahead and set up all their wiring and then have kind of like a game plan.
The plan of action is the key. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's an existing home that you moved into or a new home. It costs nothing to plan. And that way you kind of have something in mind of where you want to go and where you want to be. So the key is, though, before the walls get up, we can always fish walls, but before all the sheetrock gets up and so forth, you want to pre-wire and put conduit in walls and things like that will allow you to wire the house the way it needs to for the future. And, I come from a standpoint of, I know what other customers are doing. I know what the $1 million, $2 million, $3 million homes are doing. I know what the $300,000 house price points are doing, and so sticking conduit and wiring the wall is always a good idea, because that allows you to really, once the dust settles on buying your new home, you can decide what to do later.
So in homes, like I know particularly when my husband and I bought ours, we have wires that we're not totally sure what they go to.
Yeah.
Are you guys able to figure out?
Oh, yeah. We get that a lot. When people move into a new home, and the home may have an audio system in the house, or it may have intercom system or something, in there before, and there's just wires sticking out of a cabinet somewhere. You're like, what is all that? Or you have a bundle of wires downstairs in a mechanical room somewhere. And that's why we do free consultations. I think and that's really what we've always done, and we will always continue to do, is, you call in and you ask for a free consultation. We will give it to you, and we'll come to your home and take a look at it for you for the purpose of giving you a bid, or hopefully we can gain a relationship with you at some point, and you can, if you ever need an audio system or anything put in your house, we'll be able to help you.
That would be great.
Yeah.
It would be kind of nice to know what the wires that are hanging. We actually just shoved them back in and have like a little cap. And I'm sure it's probably a surround sound of some sort.
Sure, right.
But also I'm not totally sure that that's what it is either.
Right.
So, and similar to that, new existing construction, what do you guys do whenever you come in and their basement's already finished and they want to put in a theater system or something like that? How do you go about that?
There are so many very cool tricks of the trade to be able to fish wires in places you didn't think could happen. We can pull baseboard trim and still run wire up the wall. So when we're done, you just didn't even realize we were in there. There are many different ways, and there's different types of speakers and that kind of thing that allow us to do an in-wall and in-ceiling. Go ahead and cut the holes for those speakers and use those as chases to run wires. So, that's what I have to say. Our install crew that we have is just top-notch, and so proud of our guys that that do our install for us because they just figure things out. They just know how to, they've been doing it long enough. They know how the construction is of a house. They know how to run the wires.
So do you guys also sell like TVs and things along those lines, or is it just the wiring? And tell me a little bit about what you guys...
We're a full service electronic sales and installation. Our claim to fame is our install, but we certainly sell all the products, and we have got a full breadth of products for audio, for video, for TVs. And so that's kind of what we like to do. A customer that calls us is going to be a customer who doesn't want to have to figure it out. When you walk into the big box store and you just see a wall of TVs, it's just really overwhelming. You're not really sure where to start. And I think that's where we can help out, because when we come out, we'll look at your space and say, this would be a good size TV for this. So it won't be too overwhelming, won't be too small, based on where your couch is sitting, based on where you're at. And this is how we would get the wire there. And this is the size we recommend. And so here's a good, better, best option. That's a lot easier to figure that out, what you want to buy, than it is just sitting at a wall of TVs and go, I hope this is the right one.
Yeah. I'm real bad about, you're in a big store and that TV doesn't look as large as what it is. And then you get it home and it's like, holy smokes, that's a lot bigger than I need. Right.
There's nothing worse than buying something and then have buyer's remorse later. So that's one thing I think we do well is you don't have that buyer's remorse after the fact, because you know exactly what you're buying. We want to manage your expectations up front.
So you guys really are a one-stop type situation. That's
definitely
great. You've been listening to Real Estate 101. We'll be right back after the break.
It's coming. For the ultimate cooking experience, come see the Big Green Eggs Eggulance Truck right here in Topeka. The Eggulance Truck will be at Patio Pool and Fireside Saturday, June 6th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., bringing a team of egghead chefs for live cooking demonstrations with food samples. Plus, get a 20% discount on Big Green Egg accessories. Mark your calendar now for June 6th and come see the new Eggulance Truck at Patio Pool and Fireside, 3109 Huntoon, Topeka.
And thanks for coming back. This is Karey Brown, broker owner of Realty Executives Preferred Advisors, and you're listening to Real Estate 101. I'm here with Aaron Koker with Kansas Audio Video, and we've been talking today about all the great technology that you can put in your home. And let's start off again with a subject that a lot of people are really curious about, and that is security surveillance systems.
Oh yeah, this is a big one. With whether you own a small business or you have a home, surveillance is an important thing to feel, safe in your own home also. And, security has come so far. It used to be that security just meant you had a keypad on the wall and you arm and disarm it and that was about it. But now security has changed so much, and our newest security systems, they're just fantastic. They not only, are a burglar system and a fire system to alert you if there's fire, burglar in your home, but also there's so many different ways you can protect your home in different ways. For instance, we've been going through a big rain recently, and having a flood sensor in your house, having a carbon monoxide sensors, and there's all different types of driveway sensors we can put when people are entering into your home. Those are all kinds of different ways that you can be alerted. But our systems are so cool because they work with your smartphone, and now there's a smartphone app that just works right in conjunction with your security system. So you receive text messages anytime that, the system is disarmed if you want. You can receive text messages if the alarm system goes off, or if you have a flood, if you have a flood sensor by your sump pump, if water's overflowing, you want to know about that. That's all too real for a lot of people right now when their basements have been flooded. To be able to know ahead of time when that's happening, even in the middle of the night, to get that alert on your phone that that's happening downstairs, that's a good thing. Or if you're away on vacation, you want to know if power's lost in your house or it's been restored. That's all something a security system does now. So there's a lot of different things that it does, even though it's a security system at heart. Even so much as to say that, like, you may have teenagers at home and you want to know when they're coming in and out of the house. And it's so neat to see on your phone when Timmy came home, at 3:30 p.m. and got off the bus, So I think that's a cool thing. So I think it's a way to see what's going on in your house. And now security systems can integrate even security cameras all in one app. So just imagine opening it up on your phone and you see the security cameras. You can raise and lower your garage door even. It's all automated. So imagine you have a need to let somebody in your house. You could open the garage door for them. You can disarm the alarm system, and you can look on your phone and you can see them walk in the house and make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do. And you can rearm it from there and not even have to ever leave work. So security systems have come a long way since the beginning, for sure.
Wow, for sure.
Yeah.
I know my age, they would probably remember the Jetsons. We don't have cars that fly, but your house could be set up that way.
Right. And, I think people love the idea of looking in on their property and to be able to see their cameras. It used to be how am I going to look at that? But now the apps we have or the camera systems we have, you can see them on your computer anywhere. You can be on vacation in Cancun, you can look up on a computer and see your house property, and I think that's really neat. Or you can open up your iPad and be anywhere on the road and see a camera on your front door or your side of your house or the back pool if you have that, out back. So I think having surveillance cameras in the house or around the house is a good idea.
That's awesome. So going off of that, let's go with future proofing and the trends that you guys see.
Certainly. Well, we're getting away from physical discs, and from CDs and that kind of thing. I think we are going to be going into a generation of where we're streaming basically everything, whether it be music or video. And what I mean by stream is that it all happens over the internet. So if you want to play a song, it happens over the internet. We're doing that right now. We're seeing fewer and fewer CDs. So future-proofing a home really just means, honestly, just putting data everywhere you can. So you want to put internet hardline data lines through your home. So it used to be when people built a new home, we would put a lot of cable all over the place. But now we still put the cable in, but it's important to put internet data lines wherever you can throughout the house, because you don't want to do everything on Wi-Fi, because Wi-Fi is so overused. Every device that you buy these days, it says it has Wi-Fi or it's Wi-Fi compatible. But the problem with Wi-Fi is that every time you add a Wi-Fi device, whether it be an iPhone or an iPad or any other device, you're splitting that bandwidth. And so all of a sudden the system will come way logged down because you're just running too many things. You got the son upstairs watching Netflix, Wi-Fi, while, you're downstairs on your iPad doing something else, while dad's in his office doing his laptop Wi-Fi. There's just too many Wi-Fi devices out there, and it just bogs the system down. So anytime you can hardwire all that stuff, that's a good idea. And as far as future-proofing a home, I always recommend, like, for above fireplaces, and especially if you have a multi-story house, run conduit between one level to the other. So you'll get access to things that you wouldn't normally have access to after the fact. Just running a simple 2-inch conduit from the attic all the way down to the unfinished area where all the wiring is going allows you to add extra wires later. So it's a really good idea to think about how the house is going to be used. And even if you're not really sure where you're going to have everything, putting conduit in and putting plenty of Cat 5 or Cat 6 wiring into a house is always a great idea.
And what are the cool new things, the new toys that are out?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'd say the most popular things that we have going on right now is the Sonos system is one of the most popular audio systems that we have out right now. Whole house audio is a big trend because back in the 70s, music was so popular to have the great big speakers in your house and just sit back and just enjoy music. And that's one thing in this generation that I feel like we've lost a little bit is just having the enjoyment of music, because now we just download a single song. We stopped listening to full albums. It used to be you would take enjoyment from just sitting down listening to a full album of music. And there's so many great music services out there right now that allow you to get back into that. And Sonos is a product that even if you have an existing home or if you have a new home, you can put music in every room of your house. And what I love about Sonos more than anything else is that you can build it a room at a time. You don't have to invest in 6 rooms of music right now. You can just do it a room at a time and add on to it. And it allows you to do, all kinds of music. You can listen to your favorite radio station. You can listen to streaming services. You can listen to music on your phone. And you can tune in your favorite radio station like AM 580. You can wake up to that every morning. Go in the bathroom as you're getting ready and hit a button and you're listening to the the AM 580 radio station in the morning, listen to the morning news. I think that's just a fantastic way just to have music and news in your life again, throughout the house. And Sonos is a fantastic way to do it because it all happens off your smartphone. So you're able just to pull up your iPad or your phone, just bring it up and start playing music in any room you want and control the volume. So it's very easy to use. I even teach, the older generation how to use it. And they're like, wow, that's just simple. You're like, yeah, no, it's easy to use.
So any other new things out that you think a homeowner should be looking at?
Yeah, I would just say that right now, everything is going to apps. It's going to smartphone devices. And even if you don't own a smartphone, we're even putting little touch panels in the wall. So in common areas like in the living rooms and things like that, where you can go in and you can control your TV and you can control your devices. What we don't want is we don't want electronics to be complicated. Because all these different electronics that are coming out, it can get complicated. So you want to have an easy to control system that is whatever you have, whether it just be a TV or if you have a music system or you have a security system. You don't want too many things going on that it becomes complicated and hard to use. So I think the cool features right now are going to be the automation and the music systems in the house and allow you to go up to a wall, turn it on. It's that easy. There's nothing else you have to do.
That sounds great. Yeah. Sounds like my husband's perfect idea of a house. So media centers, you were talking about discs, they were getting away from that. Yeah.
Well, we are one of the few companies that actually custom build media centers. And what a media center is I go into people's houses that have walls and walls of DVD and Blu-ray discs, and you don't think about watching a movie from the 80s or 90s that's just sitting on your shelf somewhere. You're always about the new movie. But I have to tell you, when you have a media center, what that is that's a kind of a one-stop shop hub for you to take all your discs and you to rip them into this one device. And what that allows you to do is basically go into any room and you can then play that media. So if you have, say, 400, 500 DVDs and CDs laying on your shelf, imagine being able just to stick it in a disc player and it automatically copy it for you. And then all of a sudden it's on your TV and you can watch it. So it just categorizes and organizes everything so it's all in one place. And we're getting away from discs. And I think the future is really going to be just streaming videos off of devices. So you won't have physical discs to deal with anymore. So for customers that have a lot of media that they don't want to give up, media centers are a great way to do that.
Wow. So again, just so people can find you, your phone number is 785-232-5926, and they're located at 1016 Southwest 6th Street in Topeka. And their website is ksav.com. You can also find them on Facebook at Kansas Audio Video. And they used to be Home Connections and have recently merged with Kansas Audio, correct?
Yeah, and that phone number was actually 785-232-5966.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay.
And they do service the Kansas City, Lawrence, Topeka, Manhattan, all the surrounding areas, plus pretty much all of Kansas.
Yeah.
It sounds, into Nebraska.
Yes, and we give free consultations.
So you can bring them out and tell them what it is you're looking for, and then you just start with a budget and you start room by room. Correct?
That's what we do.
So tell me about man caves. What else? They could be women caves too. But tell me some of the things that you guys do for those.
Sure. Well, I tell you, definition of a man cave for me is just a place you can go and escape. A place that's different from the rest of your house you can go to, and it's just kind of a way to relax after work. And a man cave, we've done some pretty cool little theater rooms. And theater rooms don't have to be a dedicated theater room. Sometimes I have customers that say, I want a movie room. That's all I want. That's cool. Because I love movies. I like to watch lots of movies. We can create that for you, and that's really a neat experience because you walk in that room and it doesn't feel like anything else in the rest of the house. But, it could also be a shared space that you just kind of gather friends and family down, have a nice little area to sit down, still have a nice big TV down there, and you can enjoy it with the surround sound. So, that's why we ask a lot of questions. We say, what do you want to do with this space? What do you want to do? And, a cool man cave idea that we do is that the cost of TVs have come down so much that, we can put a TV up on the wall, a nice big TV for your, to sit around and enjoy just for every day. And then we have a big projector screen that can come over the top of that. So when you're having, all the friends and family over for big game night or Super Bowl party, or you want to have a movie, it's a special event and it just comes right over the top of it. And I tell you, the difference between watching a 60-inch TV, even though that seems big, and it is, but when you have a 120-inch screen come over the top of that, it's just a completely different enveloping experience. And every customer that's gotten that, they are always taken back to how big and enveloping it feels, to sit back and enjoy that. And I feel like you don't want that for everyday TV. You want it to feel big. You want it to be a special experience. So that's why we do that. So that way you can have both worlds, the overwhelming great experience that's just fantastic, that just really just makes it feel big and nice for your friends. And then also just the everyday TV downstairs. So we want to create an environment that's, in-wall speakers, nice and clean, easy to look at, but also nice and big and fun.
So it feels like you're actually in a movie theater.
Exactly.
And with the surround sound, it'll sound like it.
I tell you, with $15 and $20 ticket prices, that starts to get real attractive, doesn't it?
Yeah. Before long, you can actually pay for all
That's right.
of that.
That's right. That's right.
So one more time, tell us about you and where you're at.
Yep. So I'm Aaron Koker. I'm with Kansas Audio Video. We're at 1016 Southwest 6th Street. And we have a beautiful showroom there. We do recommend you make an appointment if you want to come by, because we are constantly out in people's homes, evaluating. That's where I like to be. I like to be out looking at people's homes and then bring them into the showroom to say, here are the products that I recommend based on what I saw. So, I'm not a big fan of retail. Just walk in and buy stuff, because that may not be what you really need. So that's kind of our claim to fame, is come out and take a look at it first, or have a phone conversation with you first and make sure that that's what you're looking at. And then we can invite you into the showroom to take a look. Not that it's closed or you can't come in, but I always recommend you call us first to make sure we're available.
Okay. And again, they do free consultations.
We do. Mm-hmm.
And it can be small jobs to large jobs. You can start in one room, move your way around the house.
We do basic service calls or full theater rooms. So.
Okay. And that's everything from surveillance clear out to theater room / man, woman cave.
Basically anything low voltage when it has to do with intercoms or whole house audio systems or security systems to TV systems, anything you can think of, we do it. And
thank you so much, Aaron, for coming out and visiting with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And he's with Kansas Audio Video. And their phone number is 785-232-5966.
Correct.
So give them a call. They'd love to come out and meet with you.
Yeah.
And if you would like to buy a house to put all those great things in, give me a call. My number is 785-783-4010. And again, I'm Karey Brown, broker owner of Realty Executives Preferred Advisors here in Topeka. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for listening to Real Estate 101 with the Karey Brown team from Realty Executives Preferred Advisors. Tune in again next Sunday at 11 o'clock for Real Estate 101.